Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Roundup. We've got a decently sized haul, surprisingly not too much bigger than the hauls from our comics hauls from last month. So let's get started. Kicking things off, we've got Immoral X-Men #3, wrapping up the this portion of Sins of Sinister. So we're into the year 1000 portion. Excuse me. Where we left off for Immoral X-Men. The Sinister had shown that he'd reached the limits of reliably making chimeras, and was basically ordered to be executed. However, he escaped, stealing the recently completed Marauder, and also absconded with one of his chimeras, recently created, Rasputin 4. Having actually, in fact, even removed the setting up so she'd be her own person, not the sinisterized version of herself. So we open with a quote from Candide. "This is the best of possible worlds. What then are the others?" So, for the last 900 years, Sinister and Rasputin have been trying to find Sinister's Moira lab. Things have also changed quite a bit. There are now Exodus prayer worlds, and so there's a hint that perhaps one of the clones in constant prayer to Exodus has the location of where the Moira engine is. But Rasputin's presence eventually awakens Exodus. Exodus launches, and so turns out there are numerous worlds, prayer worlds, basically, with varying sects. And well, one Exodus launches, the others nearby will also launch their Exodus in retaliation. The Marauder escapes as the two Exoduses destroy one another. But we have the fate of the Quiet Council in the Third Millennium. Professor Xavier, Protector of the Dream. Nightcrawler, dead. Gene line utilized, notably in the apostate cult, the Legion of the Night. Colossus, bulwark of materialism. All superpowers to the Space Soviets. Sinister, disappeared 900 years ago with the experimental Marauder. Wanted, if mostly forgotten, criminal. Emma Frost, Empress of the Red Diamond. Kate Pride, Hellfire Exile, Pirate Queen of the Void. Exodus, the Gene Reformation led to the division of the one true Exodus Church into thousands of heretical subsects. Hope, dissected into still living reliquaries and distributed among the Exodus sects. Namor, Imperator of the Drowned Worlds, Sire of the Night Consorts. Beast, Gene Chain Court Scientist of the Red Diamond. Magic, retreated to the Limbic Incursion after losing the Seventh Diamond War. Sebastian Shaw's, ruling majority in the Screaming Council of Hell. There are at least a million Sinister-derived gene polities, large and small. The total mutant population of the galaxy is unimaginable. Any traces of their enemies and residual smeared on the tube of an experiment that has long since gone mad. Mutants are undisputed rulers of the galaxy, yet somehow hate and fear remains. We had some glimpses at the limbic incursions, as well as the Protector of the Dream. Kate's Pirates of the Void chased the Marauder briefly. and something is found. A way to make basically an old Victorola, instructions from Destiny, and a recording. Since Mystique is dead, she's more than willing to try to let Sinister try again, and so. But Rasputin's been listening in and discovers that, well, yeah, her creator is not the good man that she thought he was, and, well, she gets spaced while Sinister returns to Earth. And between the Robo Moira and the last Doombot, he learns the location of the Moira engine. However, the Empress of the Red Diamond sends her people after him, knowing that if he finds the Moira engine, everything's over. And he does. It should be noted that the Moira engine was hidden in Orbis Solaris' world farm, and last month's Stormland Brotherhood, it got teleported elsewhere. But Sinister finds it and goes to speak with John Ironfire, who is protecting the place. But because of the genetic cocktail that makes up Rasputin, she is able to survive in the void of space, at least for a while. And Mother Righteous pops up mentally, not on panel, just asking if Rasputin would like to make a deal, and that is where this series ends. We've got 3 more Sins of Sinister books after this. Of course, we've got the remaining issues of both Storm of the Brotherhood and what is that other one? And Nightcrawlers, as well as Sins of Sinister, Dominion. It also should be noted that in Destiny's recording to Sinister, she explained that she's aware he wants to become become a Dominion. That he won't. She has seen that. He won't. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Rogue and Gambit number 2. Where we left off, Rogue and Gambit were sent by Destiny to get Manifold. Turns out Manifold was looking into the sudden escapes of various supercriminals, including, among others, Lady Deathstrike and Electro. Turns out this was being set up by Ruben Brosseau or at least for the purposes to aid Ruben Brosseau, the current UK ambassador to the UN, who is vehemently anti-mutant. But Manifold, Rogue, and Gambit were all depowered. With the last bit of Manifold's power, he was able to teleport Rogue and Gambit elsewhere, while he himself was captured. And turns out he teleported Rogue and Gambit further into the Nevada desert. And so the two of them are trying to make their way to civilization, but their powers aren't working. And they have that realization that, oh, our powers aren't working. We're alone together. Yeah. Rogue and Gambit do what they do when they don't have to worry about Rogue's powers. There's a snippet of an interview with Rogue from one of the Hellfire Galas, which the focus being largely put on Rogue's look rather than who she is. It's made clear in the interview that yes, that's the purpose. Manifold is the person responsible for kidnapping Manifold has So he said he has ability but no power. And there's quite the price on his head. After their desert tryst, Rogue and Gambit come upon a small town in Nevada. Gambit's powers are starting to come back, but not enough to actually be of note. The town they've come upon, it's what one might call simply a wide spot in the road. But they go into the bar and ask for water and directions. Turns out, though, that one of the patrons gets up, recognizing Rogue. Quite happy because he's pretty sure she saved the whole damn world. And so, yeah, Rogue and Gambit make friends with the patrons when Black Panther shows up. There's a text exchange between Mystique and Destiny. Apparently, Destiny and Rogue both have a tendency to give Mystique a bit of a cold shoulder. Mystique's fairly certain that Rogue learned that from Destiny. But Black Panther has been told that Rogue and Gambit were trying to kidnap Manifold. And he attacks. The bar patrons also side with Rogue and Gambit. But Gambit's powers are able to come back briefly, but not long. He's able to actually charge a card up and throw a couple cards actually, throw them at Black Panther. Rogue gets a good solid hit on T'Challa. Gambit comes up with a plan to at least end the fight, knowing that by tying the bartender's wrist to the stove, which has been lit and running, basically figuring that Black Panther will save the bartender. He does, and the bar explodes. But now they got to figure out how to find Manifold and figure out what the hell's going on. So Rogue and Gambit go to Forge, and that is where the issue ends. It's shown that the person who has Manifold is not Berceau. It is a shadowy figure, so let's see who that is. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Wolverine number 32, continuing the Weapons of X story. Where we left off, Beast had taken the point and left Krakoa to be autonomously supporting of Krakoa's needs via the program he calls Weapons of X, which is basically cloned Wolverines without Wolverine's higher, well, I don't want to say higher brain functions, but clones of Wolverine that basically just have the Berserker Rage, and of course his powers. So in Scotland, there's a Scottish lord has made an arrangement to grow Krakoan flowers on his land. Especially now that the treaty between Krakoa and the UK is no more. Well, gotta get those Krakoan medication somehow. But the Lord, as well as one of his servants, are attacked by a quintet of Wolverines. They don't survive. And on Krakoa, Wolverine brings Beast's body to the Quiet Council shocking even Destiny. But yeah, Logan's putting some blame on Xavier, namely the fact that Beast had carte blanche. But apparently, Beast's favorite place to think is the bottom of the ocean, and he's stolen the Cerebro sword. There's a logbook entry from Beast Prime, about Weapons of X, and he is an entity separate from but in service of Krakoa. In the same way, the Beast plan alongside him, but remain cut off from his consciousness and companionship. Beast thinks of them more as a brilliant set of data cabinets churning with programming. He does not seek out their sycophantic and covetous company, because the more they know him, the more they will believe they can take command. Familiarity breeds contempt. He will maintain his primacy as Weapons of X and as Beast Prime through a practice of scarcity, inaccessibility, and absolute confidence. Turns out that the Scottish lord that was killed earlier was being supplied with Krakoan flowers by Maverick and his mercs. They're in the Arctic Ocean to pick up some more, but a strike team of Wolverines attacks, and Maverick manages to survive, though it does appear one of the and one of the Wolverines does not return, as Maverick's taking it with him. To where? Unknown. However, Beast is aware that one of his Wolverines does not return, and he states that they don't leave corpses behind. The only corpses they leave behind are those of their enemies. That is where the issue ends. Weapons of X is definitely an interesting arc. I feel like this really should have been much more of an actual crossover between Wolverine and X-Force, but yeah. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Ghost Rider, number 13. Where we left off, Johnny Blaze and Talia Warroad were investigating claims that Ghost Rider maybe attacked or kind of decimated Savannah, Georgia. He didn't, but someone with a flaming skull for a head did. Though we've also seen that Danny Ketch is apparently in the has been pressed in the service of Infernal Labs, so it's Danny. So we've got two stories going on in the issue. One is Danny being recruited by Infernal Labs. The other is Johnny and Talia's continued investigations, having moved on to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This particular attack left one survivor. They're able to see a vision of what happened, and it appears to be, well, kind of what we see on the cover here. The helmet seemingly having horns, though. So Infernal Labs, it turns out, is it's explained as a private research group devoted to studying the biology, geology, chemistry, and physics of hell. Upon hearing this, Danny says that that he can see, but what he wants to know is the why. But Danny gets forced into fighting a massive demon, so he brings out the other guy. In the present, at Georgetown, Johnny and Talia visit the one survivor from the Myrtle Beach massacre, who uses her blood to draw, basically, what they saw. And Talia thinks that, puts a few things together, but maybe the what they think are horns on the helmet are actually antennae. But at Infernal Labs, Danny is shown kind of. But yes, well, yes, he has done good. There's been a rather high cost. Not just damage to roads and buildings, but people who did die. People who died either because they happened to be there or they, someone who saw Danny and had a heart attack, stuff like that. But also, it turns out that the doctor in charge, once upon a time, when she and her brother were young, her brother was possessed. An exorcist was called in, and the exorcist ended up throwing himself out the window and breaking his neck. Or actually, no, her brother. It reads it in an either or. It doesn't sound like it could be. The implication of how it's worded can definitely imply it was either her brother or the exorcist who jumped out the window. But Johnny and Talia managed to get basically look through the any information wavelengths that would have been going through in the area at the time of Danny's attack on Myrtle Beach. And what everyone hears is squarely from hell. Even Talia has problems listening to it for more than a second. Johnny, however, simply turns into Ghost Rider and manages to send a shot of hellfire through the system to its source at Infernal Labs. And that is where the issue ends. Things are definitely ramping up to some interesting places in Ghost Rider. I'm a sucker for Ghost Rider comics, so it's easy to say it's a good book. But so far, it's been good. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we've got Cosmic Ghost Rider number 2. Where we left off, Frank Castle had retired from being Cosmic Ghost Rider, living a quiet life on a world, an out-of-the-way world. But Cosmic Ghost Rider was still active. A different outfit, but he was still active and kind of just killing. So, at a planet at the end of the galaxy, a bounty hunter has been tasked with bringing in has been assigned a bounty on a Shi'ar ambassador. Of course, the ambassador put the bounty on himself to get the specific bounty hunter. Explanation is made. They want Cosmic Ghost Rider brought in. Starstalker is the name of the bounty hunter. For 200,000 credits, though, he'll do it. On the other way world that Frank Castle has settled on, though, he's been tracked down because of this other Cosmic Ghost Rider's actions, which has led to the death of his host. At the hands of another bounty hunter. So he basically tells the daughter of the man whose place he was staying in that they've got to leave because there will be more will be coming. He does a simple version, that he was Cosmic Ghost Rider, but he's retired. However, he doesn't go. He opts out to go into specifics as Starstalker shows up, and as Starstalker's about to shoot the daughter of Frank's host, Frank becomes Cosmic Ghost Rider. Though he notes that it almost feels like his powers aren't working right. Elsewhere, Cosmic Ghost Rider is shooting his way through a building. When he talks to the bounty hunter. Blind priest. But, and he promised the priest he wouldn't shoot him. But, I'm saying about spikes. However, before the other Cosmic Ghost Rider can further attack the priest, Valkyrie, Jane Foster, intervenes. And that is where the issue ends. Okay, alright. It will be interesting to see just how this whole thing plays out, there being two Cosmic Ghost Riders. Good, solid start for the series, so. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.